Know that the Lord is with you.
And also with you.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew.
Praise the Lord.
Do not store up yourselves treasures on earth, where moths and vermin destroy, and where thieves break in and steal. But store up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where moths and vermin do not destroy, and where thieves do not break in and steal. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. This is the gospel of Jesus Christ.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
Is there anybody here who doesn't know anything about football? So, I mean, it's interesting if you're watching football, you're just seeing these guys run around, throw this thing, back and forth, and you don't even watch, right? Where guys who know football, they look at, there's clipping, holding, offsides, pass interference, the neutral zone, things like that. The neutral zone is the space between one end of the football and the other. They line up on that. That's different than being offsides. In case you have that in like Trivial Pursuit or something. So in other words, the experience of something like football would be dramatically different if you have the knowledge of it versus somebody who has no interest in it and doesn't really know, I'm kind of like that a little bit with hockey. I know a little bit, but I don't know, and I know that you know hockey. So what is offsides in hockey? What is that?
Offsides is very simple. It means that the attacking player going into the other team's zone cannot go in there before the puck. So
Before the puck.
Yeah, the puck has to precede any player in. Otherwise, you'd have people hanging down there all day just waiting for a pass.
It's like soccer, right?
But is it like soccer? I don't know soccer either.
It's not
Yeah.
like soccer.
Okay.
Sorry.
So
Yeah,
then once you cross the line, then they can go
Yes.
down the ice.
That's
okay.
right.
So so it's interesting how your experience of watching a hockey game is very different than mine because I don't really know. So when you think about like life itself, there's so many things going on in life that a lot of times we're not aware of it because sometimes we just don't have the knowledge of it. So in case you're having Trivial Pursuit or if you guys are on Jeopardy, so the earth, I love this, we watched this Rob Bell about everything is spiritual. So the earth turns in 24 hours, that's 1,000 miles an hour. So we are right now, hold on, 1,000 miles going like that, and then we're going around the sun at 67,000 miles an hour. Right now, that's what's happening. But because of gravity being absolutely perfect, I can lift my leg and bring it back down, so I'm not floating, but I'm also not dragging my feet. So there's like this perfect gravity in the midst of this spinning and turning. The sun is 93 million miles away from the earth. So remember, this is very important. Now, so that if we were closer, we would burn, and if we were further, we would freeze. So you have this information, or even oxygen. The atmosphere is 22% oxygen, 78% nitrogen, and I guess there's a couple other elements in there. Now, you can have the information of that. You can have the miles and the facts, the speed and things like that. But my point I want to make, though, is look at how unbelievably precise it is. How could it possibly be that all these things are so perfectly lined up for there to be life on this planet Earth if there wasn't a divine intelligence, brilliance behind just Earth itself? Right? I always say this, you would not go up to the George Washington Bridge and say, oh, this is great, now we can get over the Hudson River, that this is here. Obviously, there is an intelligent design behind the George Washington Bridge that built and created that. So we have no problem accepting that brilliant engineers created the George Washington Bridge. What about the divine engineer of all that is, and how perfect and precise life on Earth is. Oxygen, and it's just incredible, right? So just incredible. Now, this divine intelligence, the living God, communicates to us over and over and over again in the scripture, like we're hearing this morning, about our heart. God looks into your heart. He's not interested in your bank account and what you look like. None of that matters to God. God only cares and is interested in your heart. Why? Because who you are is your heart. What does your heart love? What does your heart run after? What does it desire? It says who you are. Where your heart is, there's your treasure. Blessed are the pure of heart. They will see God. You know, we hear that, right? Blessed are the pure of heart, and they will see God. That's like, wow. Wait, what? The state of my heart is equivalent to my being able to experience God. You know, that isn't blessed are the pure of heart, they will see God. Hey, do we catch it? No. That's like, wait a second, let's press the pause button on that. Create in me a pure heart, O God, and put a steadfast spirit inside of me. Over and over and over again. Don't see with your eyes or hear with your ears. See and hear with your heart. Isn't that amazing? Now, you know, when you think of the heart, I had mentioned a while back there was a woman who received a heart transplant from a little boy, and afterwards she started to have a real yearning for Oreo cookies. And she found out that the boy's heart, the boy, loved Oreo cookies. And what they're discovering is that the heart actually remembered Oreo cookies. The heart has an intelligence and an aliveness to it. It isn't just an organ. There's an intelligence, there's an intuitive knowing in your heart. And when you listen to the scripture, what the scripture is saying is that your heart is a divine intelligence. It accesses this divine intelligence, your state of your heart. So there was a girl, Christina, who was at nursing school, and she lived about 4 blocks away from the library. She was driving home one day, and she was struck on her bicycle and was killed by a hit-and-run driver. And the parents are, you know, beyond beside themselves, and they will often go to where that was, and they look and they go, wow, you know, she was 4 blocks from home. And they had to clean out her apartment, and they found a list, a bucket list of what she wanted to achieve. She didn't want to be famous, she didn't want to have rich, she didn't want all of that, but she was alive. She used to give blood when she was a little girl. And the parents would say, like, she would pass out. She goes, that's it, you can't give blood anymore. She goes, I don't care, I want to give blood. She always had this giving spirit in this heart, that she was always just so alive. And so they found this bucket list in a drawer on a piece of paper. And some time later, Sandra, who was Christina's mother, found out through Facebook and one thing or another who the recipient was of Christina's heart. So her heart went to a 64-year-old retired nurse. And she found out about it, one thing led to another. So Sandra calls Susan, and it goes back and forth. She goes like, yes, I received your daughter's heart. So they were talking, they got to know each other. So now listen to this. This is like incredible. So she goes, Christina had a bucket list of various things that she wanted to achieve in her life, to do. And so she was talking to Susan, Sandra, the mother. And she says she wanted to manage her own business. And Susan says, like, yeah, after I retired from nursing, I got into my own business. She found herself desiring all of these things. She wanted to get married. Yeah, I'm married. Christina wanted to fly a plane. Yeah, I've learned how to fly a plane. She wanted to go to 4 of the 7 wonders of the world. She said, I did that. She wanted to fly first class. She said, yeah, I did that too. She wanted to visit all 50 states. She says, I'm working on that. She's traveling all over. She wanted to ride in a hot air balloon. I've done that. She wanted to ride a camel. I did that too. She wanted to break up a fight of 2 guys fighting over her. The lady said, I'm working on that. She wanted to go to Niagara Falls. I went to Niagara Falls. She wanted to ride Route 66 from Tennessee to California. She said, I did that too. How is it possible that this woman who received this heart, and Christina was a nursing student, and the heart goes to a retired nurse? She says, I think that Christina handpicked Susan to receive her heart. And she said, when I was talking with her, I felt this unbelievable connection to my daughter. You see how there's something going on in our heart so much beyond the organ of a heart. Your heart's alive. Your heart is conscious. Your heart has an intelligence. But you know, when you think about it as human beings, we get our heart broken. You know, we go and think like, well, if the heart's so freaking strong, why does their heart get broken? That's what the heart needs to grow stronger. You get your heart broken and your heart goes stronger just like a muscle grows stronger. The heart gets exercised when it gets broken and goes stronger and deeper. This heart, there's a wisdom to it, there's an intelligence to it. But again, like where we have experienced getting, I'm sure if I were to ask all of you, we've all had our heart broken. We all have our setbacks and our disappointments. People that you know and loved have left their bodies. People we have been betrayed or disappointed. But what are you doing with your heart? You cannot close up your heart. If there is somebody that we need to forgive in our life, we must forgive them. Not like you're letting that person off the hook or something like that. You're doing it for your heart. You're doing it for yourself because you know what? We are alive to the extent that our heart is open to life and to love. There's a lot of people that are walking around the planet Earth and they're fooling everybody by breathing. They're not alive because they've shut down their heart. Your heart is who you are. Your heart is the essence of who you are. It's the most powerful element in our life is our heart. And Jesus is saying to us over and over again, where is your heart? What does your heart love? Where your heart is, there is your treasure. Where's your treasure, there's your heart. This morning, take a look at your heart. Take a look at where you've been hurt. Have you let it go? Have you stayed open to life and to love? I often think of like Mary, Jesus' mother, right? She loses her husband early. Her son is crucified. Her nephew has his head chopped off. She didn't stop loving. She didn't give up. She knew heartache. Kind of crazy, right? Blessed are you among women. Blessed are you among women doesn't mean you're not going to have pain and you're not going to be hurting and have your disappointments. Being blessed means you're going to live your life and be open no matter what. Are you going to be hurt? Yeah. But are you going to have a regret? No. The only regret is when we close down our heart. You know, as I was listening to something, I don't know all about it, but like I guess it was it the Tutu? There was like this tribal thing, and they were slaughtering the Tutus, I believe. People who this woman was talking about how her husband, like the Holocaust almost, you know, like just slaughtered. And she was praying the Our Father. And when she would get to forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us, she couldn't say it. I couldn't get by that. So she decided she was going to eliminate that part from the Our Father. And someone said, you can't edit the Our Father. You can't just decide I'm taking that part out. You know? We're going to say that prayer later on. Forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who have trespassed against us. Isn't that so hard? But if you look at the whole thing, if you love your enemies, you don't have enemies. It's this constant calling over and over and over again. You've got to keep your heart open. It's when you have an open heart, you become alive and you experience this divine presence in our life, this brilliant presence. Where your heart is, there's your treasure. Always know that God is interested in one thing, and it's directly tied to your heart. God is interested